Just what started the devastating flood that hit the mountains back in August. Haywood County authorities are gathering answers and information.
News 13's Rex Hodge reports it will go to county commissioners who will use it to make future improvements.
Remnants of Tropical Storm Fred by the numbers. According to Haywood Emergency Services, it brought more than 14 inches of rain in a 12-hour time period and created landslides like this one in Cruso, extending more than 2,000 feet up the mountainside. The view from above shows the scale of the slide that careened down to the Pigeon River right next to the McKenzie family home, taking the life of Jacob McKenzie's father, Franklin.
As far as I'm concerned, my dad was out there saving the house and his father-in-law, and
there's emotional recovery now, and McKenzie hopes with information gathered about the storm, physical recovery as well.
I don't know if there's one answer to what can be done.
The National Weather Service says more than 8 inches of rain fell in a 2 to 3 hour window at the headwaters of the Pigeon River at Graveyard Fields, causing a flash flood event. 6 people died in Cruso. More than 70 were rescued in the county. 156 people have been housed in 86 hotel rooms. 450 homes and businesses were impacted. 91 private bridges damaged or destroyed. Information that goes to the Board of Commissioners.
What do the commissioners do with that when they get it?
Well, I think what we try to do is formulate a plan to try to make sure that if it happens again, that things are mitigated.
Chairman Kevin Ensley says new data will inform changes to flood maps. The State Geological Survey beginning that analysis now, a process Ensley says could take up to a year and a half.
I'm sure there'll be probably partial revisions. I think the good part is that people can build back and build higher and elevate. That'll help, and then they'll be able to stay in their homes.
Emergency management data shows only a handful of property owners are requesting elevation. More than 30 are seeking buyouts. McKenzie says despite his family's hardship, there's no thought of moving.
It hadn't crossed our minds one bit.
McKenzie says he knows recovery will take several government jurisdictions, but he says it's the local Cruso community itself that is showing the most resolve.
New at 5, State Senator Julie Mayfield is addressing her confrontation last night with the Lieutenant Governor. It happened after a speech the senator gave on the Senate floor.
News 13's Caitlin Penter spoke with Mayfield about what led to this and her thoughts on the Lieutenant Governor's reaction.
Senator Julie Mayfield says she couldn't stay silent anymore about comments made by Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. Robinson's response to Mayfield on Monday night even has members of his own party calling him out.
Next time, before you get ready to say something on that floor, come see me.
Video taken by Senator Natasha Marcus appears to show Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson confronting Senator Julie Mayfield following her speech on the Senate floor on Monday night. Do you take that as a direct threat from him, what he said?
No, I don't take it as a threat. I mean, he has no power or authority over me. I don't have to clear anything with him before I say it.
Mayfield says she felt compelled to address her fellow senators following repeated remarks made by Robinson denouncing the LGBTQ+ community. Though she didn't directly name him in the speech, she says it was directed at him.
As elected leaders, we have a responsibility to serve all of our constituents, not just those who look like us.
2 weeks ago, Robinson said this about transgender people during a sermon at a Winston-Salem church.
You might be a cut-up, dressed-up, drugged-up, ugly man or woman, but you still a man or a woman, and I don't care who doesn't like it.
The video of Robinson lashing out at Mayfield has gone viral across the state.
This was a very personal confrontation. As a citizen, I don't like to see it. Julie Mayfield gave a speech on the floor that asked for decorum.
To those in the LGBTQ+ community, it's disappointing.
I honestly don't want to give much more attention to what he said, but what is critically important is that LGBTQ people, especially LGBTQ youth, know that they're loved.
Those calling out Robinson's actions include some LGBTQ+ conservatives.
We would say that the Republican Party nationally, as well as former President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, have welcomed LGBTQ conservatives with open arms into the party. And we hope that the North Carolina Republican Party takes up the playbook from the National Party.
Mayfield says she does not regret making the speech.
If I had thought there was a glimmer of hope that he had an open mind on this, that he was open to a conversation about his views on the LGBT community, I would have gone to him first, which I think is what he was criticizing me for.
News 13 reached out to the lieutenant governor's office and had not heard back by the time of this broadcast. To watch the full videos of Mayfield's speech and Robinson's response to her, head to our website, WLOS.com.
I am announcing to you my candidacy for congressional seat 14 representing the counties here in western North Carolina.
Henderson County native State Senator Chuck Edwards making his announcement at the historic Henderson County Courthouse. The longtime businessman who owns multiple McDonald's fast food franchises now running for the U.S. congressional district Madison Cawthorn represents.
What do you think Senator Chuck Edwards' chances are of winning District 14?
I think they're good. He certainly is the most prominent Republican who's in the field.
That means he's leaving his Senate seat.
Former state rep Chuck McGrady has heard who may run for the open seat.
And I'm, well aware that Representative Moffitt is in a position where he'd like to be in leadership.
Moffitt confirming tonight to News 13 he is seriously considering a state Senate run. Meanwhile, state Democrats, Representatives Susan Fisher and Brian Turner, who represent the Asheville area, announcing they're not running again.
Representative Fisher, have you been thinking about this decision for a while?
I have been thinking about it. After 18 years in the General Assembly, I felt it was time for new energy.
The big reason that I've made this decision is because the length of session.
This session clocking in at 11 months. With 2 Democrats leaving, we asked political science professor Chris Cooper this.
Do you think either of those districts could be vulnerable as they're redrawn?
They certainly could be. Brian Turner's district in particular could absolutely be competitive for Republicans. So right now, the Republicans have majority control, of course, of both chambers.
But if more Republicans win elections next year, it could set up a shift to a supermajority that would give Republicans power to override any of Democratic Governor Cooper's vetoes.
If they're able to hit that mark, that's a game changer.